SH raises awareness. In this episode, we answer the anonymous concerns of the student body.
Thinking of the future terrifies me. Well, you shouldn't be scared of something that you can't control.
Launched the first ever Secondary 1 Kindness Challenge and profiled the wonderful Emma Levantakis.
My name is Emma. I'm a senior at Levantakis.
I am Mulsa Zabran, and you're watching SHTV. Hello everyone, and welcome to the second season of SHTV. I'm Mulsa Zabran.
I'm Marcus Sufengjan, and today's episode's theme is awareness. Awareness means to educate people on society's issues and help them be more conscious about them.
The first segment of today's episode is going to be our Anonymous Worries segment, where a bunch of members of our team made a special box in which students could put their questions and concerns, and today they'll be answering those questions.
Hello, for the last couple of days, we've been asking people to put their worries in this box, and today we're going to answer them and give them advice. Mine says, how can I start sleeping earlier? I think you can plan out your day better so that at the end of the day you have more time and you can sleep earlier. So that's my advice.
Thinking of the future terrifies me. Well, you shouldn't be scared of something that you can't control. Just do what feels right to you.
I'm worried of failure. So I think that if you put in hard work and you do your best, you're obviously not going to fail. And I think you should try not to worry about the failure, but how good you're doing your.
I'm worried that I don't have any real friends. The people who stick by your side and help you emotionally and academically the most are the people who are your real friends and who will stick by your side forever.
This one's saying, what should I do if I feel overwhelmed by my homeworks? So it's a very important question, especially for us high school students. You should start by organizing your time better. When you get home, make yourself a schedule when you're going to eat, when you're going to start your homework, when you're going to sleep, and it's going to help. And also, you should have this mentality that if others could do it, why can't you? You're just as capable of doing anything as any other person is.
So this one says, I've been feeling very sad, but I'm nervous to go get help about it. What should I do? I think you should go speak to our school guidance counselor, Miss Jessica. She 100% will not judge you for it and she'll be very understanding. I don't think you should be nervous. No one's going to treat you differently because you feel sad. I just think you should go and get the help that you need.
If my friends go to the library every day, but I don't want to go anymore, I don't want to tell them in case I hurt someone's feelings, what should I do? So in my opinion, if your friendship is so weak that you not wanting to go to the library anymore is going to cause some issues, then perhaps you might want to re-question the people with you hang out, because it sounds a little toxic if you can't even express the things that you want to do.
So we really want to thank you guys for submitting your worries in this box. We had a lot of fun answering them.
And don't ever be afraid of asking questions, because there will always be people willing to answer.
Look at what she's wearing. It's so ugly. Oh my god. This is why no one likes you.
You're so annoying.
You're worthless. This is why no one likes you.
Can you get out of here? My friends are coming over and I really don't want them to see you.
But I'm reading.
I don't care. You're so annoying. This is why no one likes you.
Ugh, you're such a loser. You're so annoying. This is why no one likes you.
1/3 of bullies experience sibling bullying at home. Instead of projecting your problems onto others, get help.
Everyone should be more kind, because in a world that's filled with tragedy and loss, if every single person tried to be a little nicer, we could help make this world a more pleasant place. In honor of trying to be more kind, the Sec 1s were tasked with the challenge to do a random act of kindness to anyone in the school. So I introduce to you the first annual Secondary 1 Kindness Competition.
My name is Mikael Avedishan and I'm from S1A.
Hi, my name is Sanita Nikan and I'm from S1A too.
For the past week, we've been doing something very kind.
We've been spreading joy around the school for a kindness competition against the Sec 1As and Sec 1Bs.
Now we will show you the rules of the kindness challenge. The first annual Secondary 1 Kindness Challenge consists of simple acts governed by the following rules.
Students cannot help classmates in Secondary 1, but are free to help anyone else within the primary and high school. All acts must be done within the areas controlled by the school, which includes classrooms, hallways, schoolyards, and buses.
Since we're in the middle of a pandemic, all sanitation rules must be followed. None of the acts can cost any money.
Lastly, the acts could not interfere with a class or other homework assignments.
Each simple act scores the team 1 point. Here's an example of what counts as an act.
Here is an example of what does not count as an act. Here, while helping the teacher is a very kind act, it is considered to be helpful towards their own classmate and something that is a normal thing to do in class.
And now let's get a few thoughts from our classmates in Sec 1A.
I feel like this challenge is really important because not only you're being nice to people, but you're also making their day even more enjoyable.
When I heard about this challenge, I was really excited because sometimes we forget to be kind to people. When I did my act of kindness, I realized that I put a smile on their faces.
When this challenge was explained to me, I was really happy and thought of how enjoyable this is going to be. Not only we're gonna have fun, but we're also gonna make other people's day.
I think that my class will do great. Soon, the videos will start piling up and we'll put a lot of hard work into our acts. We'll have a big chance to win this challenge.
Even though they're our opponents in this challenge, let's give the same chance for some of the students in Sec 1B to give you their opinions.
Starting a kindness competition is a very good idea because not a lot of people are brave or kind enough to do this. And honestly, making people happy is very important or else they'll feel lonely and not good enough for this world.
I am very excited to be doing some kind acts all around school. When I first heard about this challenge, I was very excited but also nervous because we didn't have a lot of ideas planned yet. But as we kept on doing some research, we found a lot of great ideas.
When this challenge was explained to me, I thought it was a very smart idea. I thought it would spread kindness around the school and would educate us.
And honestly, I think my class, Secondary 1Bs, are gonna win this competition because we all have kind hearts, and if we put all our hearts together, it will make one gigantic heart of kindness. So that's why I think my team is gonna win for sure.
The winning class will be crowned the Kindness Secondary 1 class of 2021-2022.
You will follow us through all of the wonderful acts of kindness we did.
Stay tuned to find out who will win on SHTV in 2 weeks.
We should be more aware of mental illnesses because they are more common than you think, and for those who do have them should not be ostracized.
Hello everyone, in this video we'll be introducing 3 mental illnesses that aren't so commonly talked about in society.
Starting off with bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is when someone experiences extreme shifts in moods, energy, and ability to function. Symptoms may vary from person to person, but most of the time, individuals who suffer from this disorder can experience sudden mood shifts and depressive episodes called mania. Eventually, this illness can cause trouble managing daily life tasks at school or at work. There isn't a cure for this illness, but there are many options available out there to manage the symptoms caused by this mental disorder. There are many ways to spot this disorder. As we said earlier, there are a large variety of symptoms. For example, a person can suddenly lose their energy and become hopeless and sad.
The second mental disorder that isn't so commonly mentioned is derealization disorder. Derealization disorder is when an individual experiences this recurring sensation or feeling of being detached from their body, more or less like an outside observer. They can also have this feeling of being detached from their surroundings. There are many symptoms related to this mental disorder. For example, people who suffer from this are usually prone to experience episodes of depersonalization or derealization because of distress, since they can experience having trouble functioning properly during school or at work, and in some cases, they can have difficulty in some important aspects of life. During those episodes, the person is aware that the sensation of detachment that they are experiencing is just a feeling and not reality. There are many ways to spot this disorder. For example, when people seem to be disconnected from their surroundings and aren't as responsive as usual.
To finish off, the third mental illness that isn't so commonly mentioned is schizophrenia. This disorder causes the affected people to experience a combination of hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized speech. Most schizophrenics are able to hear voices and see things that don't exist as a normal experience. Their capacity to communicate effectively is also impaired, which means that they put together meaningless words that are very difficult to understand. Schizophrenics typically appear to lack emotion. For example, they have the same facial expressions and usually speak in monotone. This disorder complicates completing daily life tasks for people with schizophrenia as they're constantly distracted and disconnected from their surroundings. Symptoms can vary in type and severity over time, but people with this disorder typically require constant attention and care. In the end, no matter our differences, it is important to treat everybody equally and show support to those who need it.
People should be more careful about the terminology they use, as in the way they talk and discuss about other subjects, because this could be deemed offensive.
Welcome, class, to Political Awareness 101.
Before we start, does anyone have any questions?
Yes, Paulina?
What is political awareness?
Political awareness is when you're more conscientious about social and political issues, and you're more willing to treat people around you with respect because of your awareness on those issues.
Yes, Marilla?
What if I accidentally say something offensive without knowing it's actually offensive?
Well, try to say delicately without being too rude when you're talking with the person. And then if it turns out to be actually offensive, apologize and then ask them what other terms you could use.
Yes, Arani?
I want to ask questions, but I'm afraid that it would be taken the wrong way.
Well, I think as long as you say something like sensitively, as long as you phrase your question in a way where you mean no harm with it, people will be willing to answer your questions. Now we're going to give you a few more tips and tricks to be more politically aware. First off, avoid referring to something as gay when you mean it's bad. Instead, say something is stupid or ridiculous or you don't like that thing. So referring to something as gay when you mean you don't like it can obviously send a negative message.
Instead of assuming someone's pronouns, you should use they and them before knowing for sure how they would like to be called.
Also, try to avoid generalizing someone based off what they look like. You don't know someone's ethnicity and race, and either way, those shouldn't factor into the way you treat someone. So just be sensitive in how you refer to someone. So try to be politically aware, and you'll see the way that will change your life and the way you interact with other people, your experiences, and how well you know other cultures, and it'll broaden your horizons.
So I heard you're having troubles with your friend group. Want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm not really feeling safe when I'm around my friends.
What are you talking about?
Okay. How about this? Let's start from the beginning, okay?
Hi, Ollie! Oh! You should have seen that fall. That was hilarious. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. You know why Adele crossed the road?
Why?
To say hello from the other side.
That's so funny, Ali.
It came to a point where it started feeling less like a joke and more like mistreatment. That's when I felt the need to speak up about it and put a stop to it.
We should be more aware of political issues because they define the society that we live in. If we aren't educated on politics, then we aren't educated on the world. To help us get more of a grasp on this subject, here's an interview with Shant Karabajak, who recently participated in the election for the mayor of the Plateau Mont-Royal.
My name is Shant Karabajak. I'm a graduate of Supagop in 2001. I'm also a teacher now at the school. I teach ECR, Monde Contemporain, for the secondary 5 classes, and history for Sec 4 and 3, as well as geography for Sec 2. I'm also a candidate for Ensemble Montréal at the municipal elections that are currently ongoing.
Since you may or may not represent a borough of Montreal, tell us, what is a borough responsible for in the city?
Great. So I'll be running for borough mayor of Plateau Mont-Royal, and Plateau Mont-Royal is one of the 19 boroughs of Montreal. A borough is a sub-level of municipal government. It's the responsibility of the borough to provide direct services to the citizens, such as snow removal, street repair, garbage collection, composting, recycling, etc. So these are the direct services, door-to-door services as we call them, as opposed to the municipality or the city, which would have a responsibility of larger extent, such as taxation and water services and so on. So I would be in charge of governing a borough, Plateau Mont-Royal, specifically for those things, as well as some responsibilities relating to housing and permits and so on.
Does one vote make a difference, or is it just another piece of paper in the ballot?
Interesting question. Yeah, every vote matters. Every vote matters because it's an expression of your will as a citizen, but also in terms of mathematics, a vote can change an outcome for sure. A vote also matters because oftentimes, why did I say oftentimes? Okay, often. So a vote matters often because parties are financed by the state. Elections are often financed by the state, depending on the jurisdiction. So each vote brings a certain financial compensation for the party. So if you do believe in the party, if you do believe in the platform, every vote makes a difference, both politically and financially for the party.
Despite the fact that various parties oppose each other, do the politicians, like yourself, still maintain respect among one another?
Of course. I mean, I do. It's fundamental in the political discourse, I think, where it's easy to fall into that whole social media culture of being safe behind the screen and not respecting the person you're talking to because it's only an avatar or a user ID that you're talking to. But in politics, as in life, the first thing that you have to do walking into a conversation or an argument is to respect the other person's right to have an opinion. You might not agree with the opinion, but individual respect is important because the moment that you lose that respect for your adversary, that becomes the moment where the conversation loses its value and you won't have a positive or constructive outcome.
I heard that within the Canadian government there's a distribution of power. Can you tell me how the powers are divided?
Yeah, so the Canadian political system is in line with what we call the Westminster system. So this is the parliamentary system of the UK. The way it works is that the separation of powers is done among the three lines that we know: the legislative power, the judiciary power, and the executive power. One of the differences between, let's say, Canada and the US is that the government, which is the executive power, is also, members of government are also members of the legislative power, which is the power that does the laws, which is the House of Commons in Canada. What in the US is different because the members of the executive, the president and his cabinet, are not part of the legislative assembly, so they're not congressmen, right? So that's a bit of a difference. But there are separation of these types of powers. There's also Canada as a federation, so there's also separation between levels of government. So you have the federal government that has its own responsibilities. You have the provincial government that has their own responsibilities, and each province creates their municipal level of government, and each municipal level of government is given by the province a certain level of responsibility.
And for my final question, what advice would you give to the people who want to pursue their future career in politics?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Don't be afraid. That's really the key. I mean, if you have a passion, if you really want to make a difference in the lives of citizens, if you love the country you live in, if you love the province you live in, if you love the city you live in, and you want to participate into making a difference, don't hesitate. Go out, meet people. Don't think that you're not good enough, because quite frankly, it doesn't take a genius. Or you don't need superpowers to run for office. It's not reserved for a certain class of people. Everybody has the right and the responsibility to also participate in public life. Now, you don't need to be an elected official to be involved in politics. If you don't like the limelight, if you don't like the spotlight on you, and it's not your thing, then you can still very well be involved in politics at the party level. You could be involved at the city level in terms of an administrator or bureaucrat. So there's lots of ways to be involved and make a difference. But the key here is, if you want to start off, start off. Like, take the first step, join a party, or at least evaluate what your values are to join the right party, make connections, build a network, and start from the ground up to make yourself seen and to be a viable candidate for your party if that's what you want to do.
Every job at a school is important because each staff member plays a distinct role in the running of the school. Here is an interview with Miss Emma Levantakis, who plays a very vital part at Shant Karabajak.
My name is Emma. I'm a cleaner at Shant Karabajak. Oh, this doesn't smell very bad. I have something else that I use only when you guys have birthday. It's stronger. Well, we do this 4 times a day. I was born here. My parents they moved to Greece I was born in 1960. My parents they moved to Greece in 1963. I came back in 1972. I started working at Shant Karabajak 2009. My daughter's French is an Armenian.
and she found out they were needing a cleaner. The craziest thing, well, I found the shoe upstairs in the urinal. Someone took a kid's shoe and peed on it. The kids, they touched them. So I have to disinfect everything. I have to disinfect these, okay, the locks, my dream drawer. Secretary, we use shower to disinfect the floors, because sometimes the kids, they put their clothes. Now, I don't know if it's true. That's why my gloves, they are so colorful. Here, the food of the school, I like the salmon. Oh, okay. And the other, it's a Lebanese dish, mouzzaqat. Oh, yeah. That's every time they have it, I think. No, my biggest thing is that I didn't go to university, guys. I got married 19, so I didn't go back to school. That's it.
Thank you for watching SHTV.
And now we'll leave you with more topics that society should be more aware of.